Hey friends, we're looking at the third section of Fur Elise. All right, it's one of the easiest sections, I think, of this one. The second section is probably the hardest section. We're going to get to that one in a second. All right, and you've probably already seen my first tutorial. Anyway, so here we go. Here's the first little section, and then I'll just play it for you, and then we'll break it down. All right, so there it is. Then you're into the last section, which is really just the same as the first section. All right, now I didn't go through the notation there because I was just playing through, but I will this time as we talk a little bit about it. All right, first thing to notice here is some of the dynamics here. We've got piano here. You can see that there's my little bubble. That's good. All right, so that's piano, which means soft. So, and then we have a crescendo here, right? This is a crescendo, and then F, which stands for forte, which means loud. So we're going from soft to loud. How loud is soft? How loud is loud? Well, it's not a scientific measurement, so, it's up to you to some extent, all right? Now, there's lots of A's you can see in the left hand there, lots and lots of A's. Now, some notation will say that you should play 3, 2, 1, kind of change your fingers, or, 2, 1 or something like that. Now, I don't really bother because I've got the pedal down most of the time anyway, so to kind of take my finger off like that and play like that, it's really quite easy. I don't think it adds a lot to it. Is it a little bit more accurate to do it that way? If you ask the hardcore classical teacher, probably yes, that's probably the way to do it. All right. I'm a jazz player, and I'm just going to play it with whatever you like. All right. Now, what I want to say is about those A's, they do get a little bit boring. Don't play them like a robot. Don't just go. If you just do that, it's going to get boring. You want to change the volume of them. Now, it doesn't mean just going from piano to forte in this first little section, but changing it, as you go from piano to forte, you can go, a little bit up. It's like as you climb a mountain, like you don't go, if you're driving up a mountain, it doesn't go straight up the mountain, all the time. It goes up and down a little bit sometimes, and then it goes back up again. Eventually it goes higher, right? But there's hills and valleys within the big overall mountain as well. So you can do that. To do that, and time-wise, you don't have to play all those A's, I guess technically accurate in terms of them all being 16th notes or semiquavers in the sense they're all going to be 16th notes. Semiquavers. What I mean is you don't have to go da, 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 da. You can kind of. Right, you want to flow within that as well. I mean, you don't just go. You're not just going from one to the other really kind of crazy. If you do speed up, there's a flow in it as you speed up, all right? So you can kind of do that. So that's up to your creative inspiration as you play it. I recommend listening to a couple of different versions of it, and that will give you a bit of an idea. All right, but here we go. All right, there's a diminished chord there. Try and think of it as a diminished chord. It's that'll kind of help you, as you do it. Or you can think of it as the A7 flat 9 chord, okay? As we go to the D minor here. All right, so we go from here. I'm going to try and get that 4th finger to the 5th finger. That's kind of important, right? You can kind of almost cheat as you're trying to do something smooth to the next one. If you keep one of the notes smooth, which I just did then, right, I'm going to take all 3 of these notes off, but didn't take my 4th finger off the C sharp until I played the D. You can kind of get this kind of sense that it feels smoother, right? So that's something you can do in other pieces of music as well. Obviously, that's kind of like, sort of like a trick in a way, okay? Because you can't move your thumb to the thumb smoothly. You have to, you've got to lift it off and play it again. But when you're going from one finger to another finger, yes, you can change in a smooth way. This kind of just helps you. Right, I didn't use the pedal then at all. Here's with the pedal. And you can kind of take your whole head off if you want to do that and use the pedal. All right, hopefully that kind of makes sense for you, okay? So, getting louder here. All right, still A there. All right, now here I'm going to get softer with the D and the A that's in the left hand, the D and the A that's in the left hand. I'm going to play them almost maybe a third softer than what I was playing the A, because when I play the 2 notes, if you play them at the same volume, because there's 2 notes, there's just more sound. So I just bring back the sound when I play that first D and A, so that it doesn't go from this to, right, so you bring it down, and it kind of feels like it's similar volume, right? So I'm going to go from the A minor chord here, all right, just there. All right, go to the next line. Did we go to the next line? No, it didn't work, did it? All right, here we go. Come on. Oh, too far. Here we go. Next one there. Got the D sharp in the left hand. Again, try and bring out the right hand. There's some, I kind of played different fingering to what's written there. I went, you could do that. That's what's written. What did I do? I think I did that. I'm using a bit of pedal through there anyway, so you kind of don't really hear that anyway. You can leave your pinky down the bottom there as you play the other notes. Here's that diminished chord again. All right, now we're going to change in a second to the B flat. Dim means to get gradually softer. I like to leave a nice little gap there. If you don't play that gap, kind of doesn't give that. The gap kind of is interesting. It's like interesting. You can play it a bit faster, and a lot of people do play this faster. I actually like playing Fur Elise fairly slowly. All right, here's what it could sound like a bit faster if I just play that last line. Diminished, diminuendo, I mean. Oops, adding notes there. All right. And then what do we got? Okay. Now this next little part here is just an A minor chord. Now the fingering for the right hand here is written 1, 2, 4, then 1, 3, 5. Other books that I've seen this in is it's gone 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5 both times, because it's the same notes, and I guess they're trying not to complicate things too much. The second A minor chord, here's the first A minor chord. The second A minor chord does have to be played 1, 3, 5, because you're going 1, 3, 5, 4, 3, 2 as you come back down. So you do really need that to happen like that. Okay, so now if I don't really, I think I usually use 1, 3, 5 here. And what I'm trying to do is flow my hand along, right? I don't want to stay stationary and then go like that, okay? As I'm playing, I'm moving across as much as I can. So I get this kind of a movement rather than a right? I want to kind of flow across the piano, if that makes sense. All right, so we're going to do the same thing a couple of times. So once you've got it, you'll be right. Now, the secret to playing really fast is practicing it slow and practicing it fast, and then practicing it slow again and making sure you get it accurate, then trying to build up the speed, then practicing it slow again and trying to get it accurate and building up the speed. All right, so that's really important. So, all right, so that's basically what's going to happen a couple of times. A minor chord there, that's a low A down there. All right, so A minor chord, come down. Same thing again. Same thing again. All right, the last one here, we're not going to play our, so this takes us to that B there, right? So the last B here, we're not going to use our second finger because of the B flat that's coming straight after that. So go straight up. Now slow down here so you can see it. Not the second finger, first finger there, and then you can play a chromatic scale. All right. Now what you want to do is, as you're getting to the next part here, as you're getting towards the E and the D sharp, you want to try and make sure that by the time, this is the speed you start, by the time you get to, you want to be flowing into that speed. Even though we go from triplet semiquavers to just semiquavers, we kind of want to be the same speed, right? So here you're kind of beating it fast. Now it should be light because it's pianissimo here, so light. And then come down and kind of slow down that speed, all right? So. Take your time, whatever you want to do, and then you're into the last section. All right, hopefully that's helpful for you for the Fur Elise part 2. I'm going to do the Fur Elise part 3. I'm going to do part 2 real soon, which is the harder part, which is why I've left it to the end. All right, guys, we'll see you real soon. Bye.